and welcome to Tome of Uselessness. I'm Devin.
I'm Dan.
And today we're talking Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the trilogy.
Yes.
Actually, it's funny because Lord of the Rings, I think, was one of the first ideas you had for this show, and previously when we talked about doing a show, like, before we started this show.
Yeah, always want to talk about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Nothing else. But before we get into that...
Some things we like.
What did you like this week?
I got a couple things here. I don't know if I mentioned last time, you know that Julianne Moore movie that was based off of the book called Blindness, where everyone goes blind?
Yes.
I read that book.
Was it good?
It was pretty good. It was interesting and intense, but then I felt it dragged on a little bit near the because there's like almost like a big climax, and then it just kind of keeps on going and going and going. And I was like, okay, we get it, but it was still a pretty interesting read. And there's a few other things. Since the last time we recorded, I saw Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix one.
And what'd you think?
I actually really enjoyed it, more than I was expecting.
Interesting.
In many ways, it was very similar to Taxi Driver, if you're a fan of that kind of thing. I do have some issues with the movie, but I would recommend it overall, which I was not expecting going in. I was kind of like, I didn't even, like I was telling some people, my friends, I didn't watch a trailer. I didn't look up anything because I just had zero interest in the movie at all. Just none.
Yeah, you would have thought.
Well, then I started hearing there were some positive reviews and some people were talking it up. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And I definitely enjoyed it. And then I read a bunch of comics in between. RoboCop vs. Terminator. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's by Frank Miller. And it was actually really good. Like, it sounds like the schlockiest premise because it's RoboCop versus Terminator. But it's like... a woman comes back from the future to kill RoboCop because they learned that RoboCop's brain was what Skynet used to like model human cybernetic technology and like the kind of thing. So she goes back in time to kill him, tries, fails, but then, talks with Murphy and then convinces him to kill himself. And then when Skynet realizes that, they send a robot back to prevent him from killing himself. And it kind of leads into some cool time loops. And it was actually really good, really enjoyable. One that I really liked was called Superman Red Sun, which this is an older one and it's what if Superman landed in Russia instead of landing in America.
That would be something.
Yeah, so it was really cool because his ideals were kind of still the same. Like he was like, I want to like protect people and everything like that. But instead of kind of letting the U.S. state government do their own thing, in Russia he realizes the system's like failing the people, and so he takes over the government.
Ooh.
And then starts to take over the world through like non-violent, just like purely economical means, because he's like, we're running the production and etc. So it was really good, and then it kind of neatly wraps up at the end where him and Lex Luthor battle and etc. But then humans become long-lived and everything like that, and at the end, someone sends their kid back because the planet is dying from the red sun, and their name is Jor-El, and then they send it. They're like, they send him back to Earth, the kind of thing. So it was cool.
Nice.
I really enjoyed that one as well. And then I just finished this up. It was called Gotham City Central, and it was about detectives working in the MCU, the Major Crimes Unit in Gotham City. So they're just detectives, and it's 40 issues, and it's them just dealing with murders and kidnappings and stuff like that sometimes lead into a Joker plot or a other kind of major villain, but a lot of times doesn't, and it's just them kind of dealing with this underworld that we don't see from Batman's point of view, because usually of course Batman,
because he's Batman.
But it was really good, really intense stuff, really intense stories, and I think like for maybe the time too, because one of the detectives gets outed as a lesbian, and so like her dealing with that kind of a thing, so it was just blew me away. It was really good. And I think that's kind of what didn't they have... I think because Gotham, the TV show focuses on Gordon and them. I don't know.
Watched it. I don't want to watch Baby Batman.
Yeah, no, but I thought they were going to try to do like a Gordon type show, which I think this is kind of like was based off of this. But Gordon's not in these ones. He's retired as the commissioner, so there's like different people. But anyway, 40 issues, really good. I was very impressed. The art... some of the middling ones, it's like a different crew that kind of takes over. Not as good, but it was still pretty solid. And then it just kind of ended it, and I was like, it ended in a satisfactory way, but I was kind of wanting more. I looked it up, there was no more.
Oh, bummer.
But that's life. But it was really, like in the first issue, a detective partner gets killed by Freeze, and then, it's them like, what do we do? How do we take him down? And, Batman trying to be involved, and they're like, no, get out of here, Batman. It's our caller, kind of a thing. Right?
Fuck off, Batman.
Yeah. It was really good.
Cool.
So yeah, that's some stuff I liked.
Nice.
What about yourself?
There's a few things I liked, but first, I want to make a correction from our previous episode.
Oh.
I said that Aquafina was in The Babysitter.
Oh.
She was not.
Oh, so.
I lied. I don't know any actors.
Okay, that's fair.
Anyways, just in case there was some angry Aquafina fans who wanted to watch The Babysitter.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Okay, I got one more thing. Sorry, I forgot to.
What was your last thing?
No, I'll mention it after you're done.
Okay. Yeah, that was it. I have to, yeah. But for things I like.
Yeah, definitely.
People know I like drag shows.
Yes.
So I've been watching season 3 of Dragula. It's very, very good. And then I've also been watching season 1 of Drag UK.
Right.
Drag Race UK. And it's pretty good too.
Cool.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't think I watched anything new this week. I rewatched Thor Ragnarok, which is always good.
That's really good stuff.
Yeah, I tried to... Oh, and I rewatched Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, which is a great film. Yeah, I just did a kiss finger thing for the audience who can't see me.
No, I was going to say, I forgot to mention, in the watching category, I watched the first episode of HBO's Watchmen show.
Oh, yeah.
Which was interesting. It piqued my interest. Had some cool... I think by the time this comes out, maybe the second or third episode will be out, so we'll see by then if I continue watching or not.
Fair.
But it was kind of neat. It was in the South, and cops in this point are allowed to wear masks because one of the main characters, she was attacked when she was previously a cop because they knew who she was and where she lived. And so now cops are allowed to wear masks when they're doing their duties.
Interesting.
But then there's also like this control on force that they have to like, because they show a cop and his gun is like locked, and then he has to like call into base to like authorize it for it to be unlocked, so then he could potentially arrest this guy and stuff like that. So yeah, so there's some more bureaucracy rules there, but yeah, kind of. I didn't like there was a couple imagery things taken from the comic and the movie, which I can understand. You can go to homage, but then I was also like, we've seen it too many times.
Do something different.
Yeah, do something a little different, but they gotta drill it in you. This is the Watchmen, right? So,
yes.
But yeah, got me interested. HBO's Watchmen.
Cool. Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Yeah. Jeremy Irons is in it, and no one's named him yet, so I don't know who he is. They just call him Master a couple times, and I was like, is he an older Adrian Veidt? I don't know, but this could all be wrong by the time I see it further. So.
No idea.
Yeah. Anyway, but yes. So,
cool.
Those more things I liked.
Excellent.
Yeah. But Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Yes. Oh, the other thing I like is I got new nails today.
Yes.
Happy editing, Dan.
It's all staying in.
Okay, Lord of the Rings.
You know what's funny? When I was doing a little bit of research into this, of course, we're talking the whole trilogy: Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, Return of the King.
Yes, the movies, not the books.
Yes.
But we could also talk about the books.
But I didn't realize how long ago they came out.
Wait, let me guess.
Yeah.
Fellowship came out in the year 2000?
2001.
Okay, 2001.
Yeah.
Two Towers was 2002 and 03. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Which I was like, wow, that's crazy. Because rewatching these movies, and I think it goes back to like a lot of movies we've sort of talked about and touched on, and it's like when productions use sort of every trick in the book, the movie still stands the test of time. There's a couple wonky CG moments, I won't deny that, but like everything looks so good.
Yeah, everything, yeah, it does. And like, I think when I was watching Two Towers, maybe, I texted you and I was like, how does this look better than The Hobbit?
Oh, it looks so much
better. When The Hobbit came out like a decade after it.
Yeah, and I think it's just because of the time and the care they put into it, right?
Oh, definitely. And if you would like a breakdown of The Hobbit, you should go watch Lindsay Ellis's 3-part, 2-part series. Because it's going to go way more into depth than anything we could do.
Well, I mean, we could do a thing about the Hobbits, but...
Yeah, but I don't want to, because then I have to rewatch them.
Well, and I think...
And I could watch Lord of the Rings every, 6 months for the rest of my life and not be sad.
Yeah.
But if I have to watch The Hobbit again, I'll kill myself.
Well, and I think for myself, The Hobbit, the first two, have only one good scene each.
Yeah.
And it's the scene with Bilbo and somebody else.
Yeah, Bilbo and
Gollum.
Gollum, and then Bilbo and Smaug.
And Smaug, yeah. Those are my favorite scenes, and they're the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah, and then the third one has no good scenes.
Yeah, it was kind of a mess.
It was such a mess.
Yeah.
It was such a mess.
It was too bad. But anyway, yeah, 2001, 2, 3, which I was really shocked at. Looking into their budgets, they were $93 million and then 94 and 94 for the next two. Surprisingly, in the box office area, the first one made $872 million worldwide.
Not bad.
And then people, keyed into it because the next one made $927. And then everyone turned out for Return of the King, $1.12 billion it made.
Nice.
Yeah.
Return of the King is also the only one that got Academy Awards, isn't it?
Yes, it got 11 out of 11, I believe it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Because they definitely, I think it was, they were waiting. They were like, they're going to win.
Give it to them, yeah.
Because I think probably...
But it was mostly for special effects, wasn't it?
Yeah, it won a ton of technical ones, but they did win Best Adapted Screenplay, I'm pretty sure, and he won Best Picture for it.
Nice, yeah.
So,
but none of the actors really won anything.
No, I don't think so. I think they championed Gollum for it, or Andy Serkis, but for The Two Towers, I believe.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
I think it's hard because who's your lead actor?
It's an ensemble cast.
Yeah,
right?
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone has a pretty even amount of screen time, aside from Boromir, who unfortunately dies in the first movie.
Spoilers, Dad.
Oh, God. I ruined it.
This movie that's almost 20 years old. You're spoiling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just a little, this is more technical before we start getting all into the movies, I suppose. Of course, they were directed by Peter Jackson. Written the novels, of course, J.R.R. Tolkien. The screenplay was adapted by Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, and Peter Jackson. All three of them worked on it. The music by Howard Shore. Did all the score for all three of them. And then, of course, they brought in... I thought this was so interesting when I first learned about this, was that they brought two well-known, Tolkien artists. And they've just been doing art. And that was John Howe and Alan Lee.
Yeah.
And they had to track Alan Lee down in some small town in England. And they sent him a FedEx package, and they weren't even sure if he was going to get it.
Nice.
And then he got it, and it was, Peter Jackson's previous work and, I guess a letter of intro. And he called him, 3 hours later, so they were like, did you immediately watch the movie and then just call?
Yeah.
Which he did. And so Alan Lee and John Howe were the main artists, and they hired Weta Workshop, which is from New Zealand, and Richard Taylor's the head guy from there to do everything.
Of course, does all the cool effects in Hollywood.
They do now, yeah.
They did effects for Ghost in the Shell, for those amazing geisha masks. Yeah.
As well as Scarlet's suit.
Yeah.
Well, and what's interesting in this is this was when Weta Digital was still really small. He did the Frighteners with Weta Digital because he founded it. But then afterwards, New Line, who was backing the movie, didn't want Weta Digital to do all the Gollum and other effects because they were it's too much for such a small studio. But then they did some test footage and stuff like that, and then they liked it, and they were like, all right, go for it.
Nice.
So it kind of... This movie had, especially Return of the King, had tons of digital effects.
Yeah.
And so they had to expand their whole operation to even do it.
Yeah.
And they had a CG character in Gollum.
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could talk about it, or I could just talk about the cast later, I guess, and stuff like that. Or
yeah, so I'm going to mostly assume people know the plot. I don't think we have to go through it too much.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
So there's a few things that I wanted to talk about.
Sure.
So I'm looking at your special edition extended DVDs on the floor there.
Yes.
I also have those. I've watched all the special features.
Yes.
I've watched them all with commentary.
I don't think I've watched them all with commentary.
No? There's two commentary tracks. There's the director track and then there's actor tracks on each of them.
Yeah.
I've listened to both.
Nice. I don't think I've watched that, but I've watched all the extra footage, which is amazing. But
so
continue. Sorry.
In the extra footage, they're talking about practical effects a lot.
Very much, yeah.
And using forced perspective and which
is crazy.
Little people body doubles and stuff like that. So rewatching it this time with all the knowledge that I had, I could see the scenes where they're doing that.
Yeah.
And it didn't detract from the movie for me at all because it just seems more impressive that this is the way that they did it.
Yeah. Well, even I was unaware until I think I'm seeing a production still of Gandalf on the cart with Elijah Wood.
Yeah, and he's sitting
like
so far.
Yeah, he's sitting like 6 feet back
Yeah.
or whatever, and I was like, wait, they built that cart in the way it looks seamless.
It does look seamless. Like, yeah, like, and the scene where Gandalf and Bilbo are sitting in his
house.
Yeah, and you know that, like, but they've lined it up so that they can show Ian McKellen where to look, so it looks like he's looking in Bilbo's eyes and stuff.
And vice versa, right?
Fucking so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just, I don't know. I wanted to mention that because
No,
I
absolutely.
really like it.
It was definitely something we would get into.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Let's just start a little bit about Fellowship of the Ring. I think we were just talking a bit off air before we started recording. I think for me, it's my favorite.
See, Two Towers is my favorite. Two Towers is, out of the three, the one that I could rewatch the most.
Yeah, Two Towers is there's no doubt it's great. But I think I like the Fellowship a little more just because I like the team coming together and then the team having to break apart because of like the corruption of the ring.
Yeah.
And you get all like that intro world building and everything like that. So I don't know, that's all that. And that's what's funny is because, full disclosure, I've only read Lord of the Rings once my entire life, like the whole way through.
I haven't been able to get through it.
Because it's J.R.R. Tolkien, it's a history, it's a whole thing. And this movie does a really great job of distilling it down for you.
Totally.
But it's still, I like all those elements that they build into it.
So I think I prefer Two Towers for a few reasons. First is that I just love Rohan. I love the way it looks.
Rohan's great.
Yeah, I like it so much. I love the Battle of Helm's Deep. And, in the extras, they're like, if you liked the Battle for Helm's Deep, you'll love the
next one, Minas Tirith or whatever?
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, you'll be all about that. And like, no, it's still Helm's Deep is like the coolest battle ever.
I think so as well. It just has so many elements that make it better. And the Uruk-hai, I think, were a more formidable force because you were more scared of those guys. You're like, oh my god, these guys are just nuts.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then also it's like there's not a lot of like women in Tolkien's worlds, so it's cool to have like Éowyn as a strong female character that you can kind of follow along with. And then I also just really like the Ents.
Yeah.
The Ents are so cool.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I didn't remember until I was rewatching the special features on this one again that Treebeard was animatronic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a big puppet.
It was a big puppet.
And then they had to get Pippin and Merry to basically sit in this super uncomfortable bicycle seat, like
hands
contraption of his hands. Yeah. I don't know. So for me, Two Towers is always my favorite. They're all good though.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that stands out, and I think I wanted to definitely mention at some point that I think it's arguable and easily probably true that this is the greatest film trilogy made to date, right? Like,
what about Star Wars?
I think this beats Star Wars.
Yeah, well, it does for me, but I know you really like Star Wars.
I love Star Wars, but I think the story overall is really good in Star Wars, but the movies aren't as good as these movies.
Yeah, these movies are great. When I was rewatching Two Towers, it's like, man, so much happens in this movie.
Yeah.
You never get bored. It never bogs down. Because it doesn't have the chance to. There's so much story that has to get told.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy even at because I think I'm more familiar with these theatrical release versions.
Yeah.
For the first two especially, not so much for Return of the King. I think because by the time Return of the King was released, the special editions were already starting to come out. So
they were still refilming footage for the extended version of Return of the King after they had won an Oscar for it.
Yes. So that's what I was going to say is that the extra scenes from the first two I noticed more compared to Return of the King. Yeah. Despite, I know at the time especially people were like, oh man, Return of the King with its 20 million endings and this and that. But it doesn't even seem that way. Like,
it never seemed that way to me.
It all just kind of flows past you in a nice way.
So in Return of the King, was it in the extended version that Aragorn fought the spooky guy?
Sauron?
No. At the gates. At the gates when they're at the gates of
the dead, the city of the dead. They don't really fight. They just kind of have a sword clash, and then he just grabs him, and then he's like...
Oh, was that Sauron, or I thought it was just like a spooky elf guy. Spooky or...
No, yeah.
Big...
Yeah, no, that's just the City of the Dead.
Yeah.
Right? Where, no, yeah, he still has that same...
No, not the City of the Dead.
No, okay, sorry, we're thinking of a different place.
When they still want to give Frodo a chance.
You mean... Well, yeah, no.
At the gates.
At the gates, the Mouth of Sauron.
Yeah.
He's not in the theatrical release.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yes. I couldn't remember, though. I think that was a good thing to cut out.
Yeah. It kind of...
Actually, everything they cut out, I'm okay with.
That's one thing that's crazy about it, is watching the extended versions and knowing what they've kind of cut out, that I was like, it's still fine. It's totally... It's like, it didn't... Like, being that the scenes are there, cool, when they were out, it's like, Like the one in Two Towers, when you learn that Aragorn's an old man, and he has that moment with Miranda Otto.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And same with when Pippin grows from drinking the... Yeah, that's fine to cut out.
Yeah.
And in Fellowship, I think there was a part...
There's a lot cut out of Fellowship.
There's a lot cut out of Fellowship, like Aragorn singing and stuff like that. And those were all very good things to cut out of the movie.
Yeah. Well, even in Two Towers, Miranda Otto, she sings near that grave. That's cut out of the cinematic version as well, with the theatrical cut.
So I've seen those DVDs so many times that when I was watching them on Netflix, because I couldn't find my DVDs, I remember where it's like, time to put in disc 2.
Oh, really?
I kept waiting for it to pause.
Does Netflix already have the extended versions then?
No. I was watching the theatricals.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's what I thought we'd mostly talk about that.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to, so Fellowship of the Ring, the whole... bringing them together, and the opening prologue, we joked around about when we were doing the Dark Crystal thing. It's like, this is like the best opening prologue ever.
Oh my god!
To introduce you to a weird fantasy world, and then you show Sauron and the bad guy and the ring getting lost to history. Amazing.
Yeah,
right?
It's great.
And just like how it goes along. And it was always one thing, because like in the book, of course, there's a huge time gap between when Frodo gets the ring initially before he leaves on his quest.
Yeah.
And he's an older man. It's all fine.
It's fine.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
And
I thought Elijah Wood made it great.
He was great. Yeah. And Sean Astin being his Samwise was really great.
Because like Samwise is so punchable, and so is Sean Astin.
Yeah. Well, apparently he put on like 30 pounds, I think, for the role.
You know what's funny is now he's on a Netflix show with Melissa Joan Hart. Like, it's like a family sitcom.
Nice.
Like an ABC, like 6 o'clock on a Sunday night sitcom with him and Melissa Joan Hart.
Well, and he was in Stranger Things season 2, which I don't think you've seen, right?
But it just seems like that's a huge fall.
He's working, having a good time.
Good point. I'm on 0 TV shows.
Yeah, that's fair. No, but yeah, I think Fellowship is great because then the team gets together, you learn more, you see Saruman's betrayal.
Yeah.
And you see a little bit more of the world when Gandalf goes around, and you see a bit of Minas Tirith and a little bit of Gollum, and then they go through the mines of Moria. That scene in the mines is amazing.
Oh my god, it's so great.
Yeah. I like the little things, like when they're walking on the mountain and then they get stopped by the snow. Legolas is on top of the snow. Yeah. Everyone else is all like trudging through it. Yeah. And it's just like little things like that. It's just like they took that extra care.
Oh, for sure.
Right? And
when you watch when you watch the special behind the, what's it called? The special feature?
Sure, whatever you want to say. Behind the scenes, special features, all the extra stuff.
You really get the sense that 9, like the core 9 fellowship were like friends.
Sure, absolutely.
Besties the whole time.
Yeah, and well, I think for Orlando Bloom, he had just graduated from like drama school, and he got that role like right away.
I'm pretty sure Orlando Bloom had like broken his back.
Oh, really?
18 months before.
Oh, jeez.
And he had like just finished healing, basically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because then he insisted to do most of his own stunts that he could and stuff like that. Same with Viggo, of course. I think he did everything, actually.
Oh, Viggo's like a crazy person, though. Was that Viggo Mortensen, the story where they had to like film at the top of a mountain And Vigo was scared of going.
No, that was Sean Bean.
That was Sean Bean.
That's Boromir, yeah.
That climbed up the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to take the helicopter.
Apparently he only took the helicopter like when it was 100% necessary. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, when they do that snow scene, he hiked up the mountain so he had to go to like makeup 2 hours before so he could hike up 2 hours to get to set.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he's not wearing a lot of prosthetics, I don't think so.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, the Vigo was the story where he was walking home in full costume and got arrested.
Yeah, well, because he had his sword on him all the time.
Yeah.
And he used the real sword, too, which they made different versions of all the swords, and one was aluminum for the actors to wield while they were fighting.
Yeah.
And not the steel one, and he used the steel one the whole time.
Because he's crazy.
Because he's crazy. I like his logic. He was like, hey, you're going to get tired swinging the sword in battle. You won't be as finesse anymore and everything. And I was like, power to you, Vigo.
Also, when he kicks that helmet, he breaks his toe.
Yeah, famously.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say we haven't got there yet. We're still in the Fellowship of the Ring. That's all right. And then Boromir succumbs to the corruption of the ring because he wants to bring it home to Gondor.
We're still in the Mines of Moria.
Oh, sorry, Mines of Moria. Yeah, the Balrog.
There's a big deal that happens down there.
Okay, sorry. I love that Balrog design because it's like a mix of Diablo and something else, and it's great.
So my mom, she doesn't have it anymore, but she used to have a calendar from the 70s that had art based off Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And when I watched it, that's what he looked like in the calendar.
Well, and I think, again, they took John Howe and Alan Lee's drawing and made it real. And it's pretty cool because when they show that again, Weta, they call them maquettes, I guess. They build the thing, and it's like 4 feet tall, so they can scan it to make it look good digitally. But it's like a full-on Balrog.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, they do it for so many things. They build it in a big way, and so then like the trolls, they built like a 6-foot tall troll. Cool. And then so they can scan it. So then they have like a model that looks good digitally.
That's
cool.
But
the Balrog, I love that design, and it's so impressive.
It still looks good.
The weirdest thing about the Balrog, though, although I guess maybe it's just like when he steps on the bridge of Khazad-dûm, I'm like, no way! It's like his foot is bigger than the bridge,
I'm fine with it.
Okay. Because maybe it was because it's dwarven, he was like, it'll hold. But then Gandalf, did the magic, and then
because you shall not pass.
You shall not pass. Apparently, there was nothing when he was. Like it was just blue screen when he was acting, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You kind of fooled me.
Yeah, he does a great job. He fooled me too. It was like like a tennis ball kind of thing, and they're like, look up there, there's gonna be the Balrog.
It'll be scary dressed as.
Yeah. But yeah, that's when, of course, the first breaking of the Fellowship, because Gandalf gets snared by the Balrog and falls.
Does he say, fly, you fools?
I believe so, yes.
That's what I always thought. And then somebody else, I can't remember who, was saying it was something else. And then I was like, I don't think so. I think it's fly, you fools.
I'm pretty sure it's that.
Because, run away.
Yeah.
Dum-dums.
Basically. Get out of here. Yeah, because then they do that sequence with this is what's funny, is I think I remember seeing it online. That sequence where they're running and then they go down the stairs and then the stairs are breaking and they have to jump and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Someone compared that to the Hobbit movie where they have a similar sequence and it's all CG digital mess.
Yeah, yeah.
And it doesn't seem dangerous at all compared to the one where they're hopping across this thing when the stairs are collapsing. You're like, oh man, what's gonna happen? He's gonna throw the dwarf? What? The other one where you're like, okay, we get it.
Just hop in a barrel already.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah, they get out of the mines and they've lost Gandalf.
Yeah.
It's the first breaking of the Fellowship.
And then they go to see the elves, don't they?
No, they've already seen the elves because the Fellowship is together.
Oh, is he there for that?
Yeah, because he's part of the 9.
Cool.
Yeah, no, afterwards, then they get going and then they see the other elves.
Yeah.
Sorry, they see Kate Blanchett in them.
Yes. Yeah,
sorry.
That's what I meant.
I thought, for some reason, I was thinking Elrond.
I was like, don't they say he fell or something like that? When she's like, where's Gandalf, bitches?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we can now.
I'm sorry, yes. You see Kate Blanchett and crew.
Yes.
That's great.
Kate Blanchett is the most excellent Galadriel.
Yes. And
I love the effect that they do to make her look like she has stars in her eyes.
Yeah.
which is holding up a bunch of Christmas lights.
Yeah. See, again, I love that kind of thing when you read that. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
like,
like,
they didn't
oh.
do a digital effect or whatever. They just held some lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that as well. And then even just just everything about that set.
Oh my god, it looks so cool.
Yeah, and it's all like they had to build all those trees and everything. Even the trees when they first run in, because they found like a forest, but New Zealand doesn't have big trees, not like we do anyway.
Yeah.
So they had to build fake trees to like put in there and stuff like that. And then that whole elf set where they rest and everything.
Yeah. And we get that awesome scene where Frodo offers her the ring, and she's like,
You will have a queen.
I was like, yes, that's a great idea. Give it to her.
No, that's the whole point. Even Gandalf says it in the beginning. He's like, I would take the ring for great good, but it would turn to evil, right? So.
I don't care. I want a movie where Kate Blanchett has the Ring of Power.
Alright, fair enough.
Or two, I guess, because she already has one.
She has the other one.
Yeah.
And in that one, in the extended version as well, you get another scene with Aragorn and Boromir, which I liked.
Where they're talking about it being buddies in the White City.
Yeah, and just like the land of the race of men and all that kind of stuff. Because the only other scene is when you see him when Boromir picks up the shards of Narsil or whatever, and you just kind of sees him there, and that's before he knows that he's Aragorn's, king kind of thing. But I thought that was a good scene, and I didn't remember that it was in there.
Yeah, that is a good scene from the extended version.
Because like later when Boromir dies, skipping ahead here.
Spoilers.
Yeah, they have an emotional moment, and it's really good, but it
would be more impactful with that scene.
Yeah, it was a little more impactful because it was like they started to form a bond.
Yeah. Despite
Boromir's wanting to keep his secret, but he really wanted the ring or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So I like that. And then they all get some gifts, and then they part, and then you get John Rhys Davies.
Do you remember the gifts?
Sam gets some rope. They obviously all get lembas.
Yeah.
There's 2 daggers given out, or swords, to Pippin and Merry. Frodo gets the Star of Elendil. And then
Gimli gets a hair.
Gimli gets 3 hairs.
3 hairs.
Yeah.
Because he's a weirdo.
He's a dwarf. Doesn't want no elven gift. And then I think Legolas has to give him bow and arrow or something.
Whatever.
Yeah, he's already got some stuff.
Oh, they all get those little pins.
They get the pins and the elven cloaks, which does come in handy later.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Spoilers.
No, and I was going to say, back to John Rhys Davies, I don't think I've ever seen before, and even still after, a dwarf on screen that good ever.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Also interesting, to go back to that forced perspective and everything.
That he's the tallest of them all.
He is the tallest, but because of that and the height of the hobbits, they were in scale to each other for hobbits to dwarfs already.
Oh, really?
So they didn't have to worry about scenes where those characters were all together.
Yeah.
Nice. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is hilarious. And also, that they used, he had a stunt double that they used a lot as well.
Yeah.
That was a short
Same
guy.
with the hobbits, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Then we get to the climax of the movie, where the Fellowship is broken. Boromir tries to take the ring. The Uruk-hai attack. And
Frodo offers Aragorn the ring, and he says no.
Yeah.
And then he has an excellent fight scene, and Frodo runs away.
Yeah.
And says, I have to do this alone, and Sam says,
of course.
I'm coming with you.
Yeah. Which I think is a great line and a great back and forth. Of course you are, and I'm coming with you. Oh, Sam. Merry and Pippin, they both step up to the plate to distract the Uruk-hai from Frodo. Which was also, a moment of bravery. That's the smallest of men makes the biggest difference. They all step up in a way.
And get kidnapped.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But,
and so, when this movie ended, I was so in love with Billy Boyd, who plays Pippin. I just thought he was, the hottest thing ever.
Nice.
And my boyfriend at the time told me that they died.
Oh,
because he had read the books, and he was like, "Yeah, they get killed right away." And I was all upset.
Sure.
And then I was happy when Two Towers came out, obviously, but I was upset for a year.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, they get kidnapped. Aragorn. Everyone starts fighting the Uruk-hai. Boromir fends them off for as long as he can for Merry and Pippin.
Yeah.
Gets shot a ton.
Yeah.
Redeems himself essentially. Fights with honor.
Yes. And then Aragorn avenges him, kind of.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Kills Lurtz.
Yeah.
Yeah, which there's all chronicled about the fight scenes and everything. My favorite thing about a lot of the fight stuff was John Rhys Davies.
Yeah, just actually fighting them.
Well, just actually fighting them, but not even like choreographing. You'd be like, okay, who's first? He's like, okay, you. He's like, okay, I'll hit you, turn, hit your second. Okay, I'll turn and then hit you, and then you just hit them. Like not even like try to pull their punches.
What's the actor that played Mary? What's his name?
I got his name right here. His name is Dominic Monaghan.
So he is great in the extras.
Mm.
When he is doing his John Rhys Davies impression,
Yes.
just talking about doing anything, it's hilarious.
Yeah, he's in there quite a bit. I mean, they interview everyone quite often.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so they have a big fight, and Boromir's the only one in the Fellowship who dies, which is crazy, but it also shows the corrupting force of the ring, I guess.
Doesn't Gandalf kind of die and come back?
Yeah, but I mean, he comes back as Gandalf the White.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
No!
Yeah. Because, yes, at this time, we believe he's dead as well.
Don't worry, they'll all die from old age eventually.
Well, yeah, but...
You thought you were upset that more of them were alive.
No. But yeah, the Fellowship ends on that note of Frodo and Sam leaving together, and Legolas is like, "Oh, we could catch up to him," and then he looks over and Aragorn's like, "No, we're letting him go.
We're gonna hunt some orcs."
Yeah, and the movie just ends.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's such a good first third.
Oh no, it's a great movie. Yeah. I'm just saying that Two Towers is my favorite.
All right, let's move on to the Two Towers.
Yes.
Yeah, it just rolls right into it, right? They're just chasing the orcs. Or no, this one starts... what is it? How does this one start again?
This one opens with
Gandalf.
Frodo dreaming about Gandalf falling to the Balrog.
Yes.
And then Frodo and Sam being upset that they're lost and shit.
Yeah, in the middle. That fall scene... And then there's that one shot where it's like just like that cave, and then you're like, what's happening? Like what?
So cool.
And then all of a sudden the roof starts to kind of light up, and then they come falling down.
So good.
Yeah, shadow and fire. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so then they're stuck in, I forget the name of that place, but it's all dangerous rocks and everything, and that's when they first also trap Gollum, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't think they trap him right... No, they do trap him right away.
Yeah, like, not immediately, but they're like, Frodo's like, he's been following us, and then they, like, enact a scheme. Mm-hmm. When he comes down, all tricksy hobbits, and then they tricksy him.
And they tricksy him to put a rope on him. It burns us, it freezes us.
It's elven rope, so,
yeah. I just like that line, I don't know why. There's a few lines that I just like. The end. Good, yeah. Like, what do your elf eyes see?
Yes. Well, that's coming up as well. Yeah, and of course Andy Serkis playing Gollum.
It's great.
It's unequaled.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. Not much to say aside from it's ridiculously good.
It's so much better than he was in 13 going on 30, where he plays the kind of gay boss.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, I didn't think you had, but he's in it.
Okay. In the MCU, he plays as that weird South African claw.
He's so great in that, though.
Yeah, sad when they killed him. I was like...
I know, I really wanted more of him. He's so good.
Yes. But anyway...
He also played a bunch of monkeys.
He does.
Apes. In the Monkey King... Nope. What's it called? Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes.
And he plays Big Monkey and Big Monkey Friend. King Kong.
Right. Yes.
Peter Jackson. That was a bad movie.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was... We did not need a scene where King Kong and Charlize Theron go ice skating. Why was Jack Black in that movie?
Why not?
Why is anything?
Why is Jack Black in not more movies?
That's a good point. It's a really good YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Two Towers.
On a side note, since we're talking about King Kong, I watched the Kong Island Skull Frame.
Yeah, Kong
Skull Island. It was really good.
Yeah, I was actually impressed by it as well.
I really liked that movie. Just a side note.
No, yeah. Because that one's loosely ties into the new Godzilla films and stuff like that, right? So.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, then there's a plan, I think, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but they want to do Godzilla versus King Kong.
Oh. Wouldn't Godzilla just win?
Well, they're scaling, of course, King Kong would have to get scaled up a little more, and I think the idea is that they fight, but then they got to team up to fight something else, right? The classic kind of
Monster
situation.
was us all along.
Well, obviously.
Are they going to fight a Power Ranger?
Yes. Fight a big Zord. But yeah, so the Two Towers trucks along pretty well with like the Fellowship chasing the Urukai. Then they get into the altercation. That's really well filmed because you don't, when they first meet Éomer, and he's all
Carl Urban,
and he's all like, no, we found some orcs, but they're dead. Like, we killed them all.
We killed them all.
And they're like, what? No. And then, so it's really well cut that, because we don't even as the audience know, because the fight breaks out about them killing some of the hobbits, or eating their legs, let's say. And then it just kind of cuts it face to black.
You get the horse that rears, and it looks like it's come down on Pippin and Merry.
Yeah, like it stomps down and then it cuts.
Since we're in the Two Tower, can I talk about one of my favorite casting choice in the whole trilogy?
Oh.
Whatever the actor's name is that played Wormtongue.
Oh yeah, I got his name right here because I was definitely going to bring him up. He's old school. Brad Dourif.
He is so great as Wormtongue. I couldn't picture anybody else playing Wormtongue.
Yeah.
Like, he's so that character.
Yes.
Like, whatever they did, I'm sure he's a lovely person in real life, not a psychopath, but...
Well, he's played like evil characters a bunch of times and stuff like that, right?
Maybe he is.
He's really good at it, I guess is what it is.
There's that scene where Éomer asks him, like, what is Saruman going to give you?
Yeah.
Like, what were you promised?
Yeah, what were you promised?
And Éowyn is running past, and he just... The way he looks at her, it's so good.
Yeah. He does a supremely good job, and of course the makeup on him as well. They made it so you could see his veins,
and the way that he talks.
Yeah.
The way that he what's the king's name?
Enunciates every word.
Yeah.
Theoden.
Yeah. The way he worm-tongues him.
Yeah, manipulates him or whatever.
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah.
He's just so perfect for that role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had to say it.
No, that's fair. We would get there, but because after they encounter the pile of orcs,
they go to Rohan.
He tracks, and then he was like, wait, a hobbit was here, and then they start going, and they end up in the forest where they meet Gandalf.
We are getting random Rohan story though intermixed.
Are we?
Yeah, because there's Theoden's son dies.
Yes. And
they're like, your son's dead, and he's like, I'm old man.
No, but I guess that's kind of there, but it's like we don't get it more until Gandalf and them all arrive, right? So.
No, it's intercut up to then.
No, that's what I mean, but it's that's when we're in Rohan more.
Yeah, but I love Rohan. I just want to talk about it.
Well, talking about the Rohan set,
so good.
They built that on a mountain.
They built the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then they had to take it down.
Yeah, there's nothing left but sheep and grass, as Ian McKellen says, right?
Yeah.
But they built that whole thing. Not the interior of the Golden Hall or the Great Hall,
but the exterior.
Exterior, and they built it all.
And you get that beautiful shot of Miranda Otto standing on the front, the steps.
The battlement there, the front steps with the flag that flies off.
That flags off, which apparently wasn't planned, it just happened.
It's so good, though, because it's representative of the fall of the times and the king and everything.
It's so great.
It's so poetic that I was like, if that wasn't on purpose, well done to keep the camera going. And
for sure, right? It's so great. It gives me chills.
Yeah, and I just love the Rohan theme.
The horses?
No, the violin theme. Sorry,
sorry.
The score. not that they're a horse culture, which is great, but just the score.
I love Theoden's horse, or hilt of his sword with the two horse heads in the heart shape.
Yes.
It's fucking cool. I want to get that as a tattoo.
Yes. But when they meet Gandalf the first, when he comes back as Gandalf the White, they do that great effect with Christopher Lee's voice and Ian McKellen's voice. So
blended,
yeah.
And the backlit, so you think it's them.
Yeah, I think it's Saruman.
Yeah.
Because when they realize he's there, they're like, don't let him speak, he'll put a spell on us. And, they try to fight him. Immediately, it doesn't work. But and then that's when we find out that the hobbits were rescued by the Ent from the orc. And Rohan. And take it away, Devin. This is your movie. You love it.
Then they go to Rohan. But before they go to Rohan, Gandalf summons is the Lord of Horses.
That's true. Shadowfax.
Shadowfax.
Apparently that was a one take.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just like unerringly went right to where it needed to go.
And that's a wrap. Yeah, so they go to, yeah.
Yeah, well, I forget the name of the city specifically, but it's the kingdom, the capital of Rohan.
Yeah.
And they do that. You know, they're like, oh, we gotta disarm, you can't have the weapons in front of the king.
Oh,
and Gandalf has kind of a grayish cloak on.
Yeah.
Concealing his robes.
And he's like, he wouldn't deprive an old man of his walking stick.
Yeah.
and immediately, like, Wormtongue's like, you should have taken the staff.
I told you to take it away. And I think this one, because again, in the extended edition, there's a scene where we get the sense, and it's shown how Wormtongue has like his own guards versus like the king's guards or the previous guards that are loyal. So because when they come busting in and everyone's trying to like fight them and take Gandalf's staff or whatever, they're just beating everybody up.
Yeah.
And Eomer's like, no, it's cool. And that in the theatrical cut, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. But it's like now I was like, oh right, haha.
Yeah.
Because they're just beating up on Wormtongue's guys, which we would assume are in league with Sauron.
Yes. Yeah. And so Theoden is under a spell from Saruman.
Yes.
That's made him prematurely aged.
Yeah.
And Gandalf frees him from that spell in an excellent scene. And then we have that very cool effect that still looks good where he de-ages.
Yes.
And it's just, I don't know, so well done.
Well, and it was interesting because that actor who played King Theoden here, I got his name. Oh my god. Theoden, where are you, buddy? Bernard Hill. He didn't want to wear prosthetics. He said, no prosthetics for me. And so what they did they like stretched his skin and then applied like a chalky kind of makeup thing, let it dry, and then like unstretch his skin, and then like it would increase all of the creases, and then painted it all.
Oh, cool.
And then, so he had to endure hours of makeup for this, but he didn't want to wear prosthetics, and then they had to do different layering
for different
stages of aging.
So it's probably more involved with prosthetics.
Well, obviously just for his, when he had all those scenes when he was aged, that's fine. But when they had to de-age him, then they had to do more scenes to do that. But and then he had to act. Like they had to show him how he acted, and then like he had to act again and again in the same manner, so they could CG blend it well. And
they did. It's so good.
Absolutely.
And then there's that great, like, he's kind of confused when it's happening. And
the first time watching this movie, like, I just thought, I was like, oh man, this old man king, blah, blah, blah. And
me too.
And it's just kind of like, you're like, oh crap. Like you assume Wormtongue, of course, manipulating him, fine.
Yeah.
That he was just like some aged king who passed his prime. But it was just like, no, he was supernaturally aged.
And then when Eowyn runs to him and he's like, I know your face. It's so heartbreaking. Yeah.
And then the same thing, he's like, where's my son?
Yeah.
And it's like, you've already been told your son's dead.
That's outside.
Oh, yeah.
That's not inside. Because first, Aragorn gives him his sword and he's like, perhaps your hands would recognize their strengths better if you grasp your sword. Which, I don't know why, but that's like a line that's always got to me.
Nice. Well, it makes sense. You have a martial arts background. And when you pick something up that you're so familiar with,
it's that muscle memory. Right?
Yeah, it just all becomes familiar.
I don't know. It's a powerful line to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
But then when they go outside, because he wants to like kill Wormtongue.
Yeah.
And
Aragorn stays his hand.
Yeah. But then he goes, where's my son?
Right.
And it's so heartbreaking. And then we also get that scene where they're kind of at the, like, when they're putting him in the tomb, and he's talking about it's a tomb of his ancestors and that no parent should have to bury their child.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Poor Theoden.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to make some questionable decisions coming up, but poor Theoden. For now.
For now, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just kind of, again, they built all those flowers and everything. It's all
cool.
incredible, and that's what I was saying as well. That attention to detail really comes through, and I believe it. You believe it, right?
Oh yeah, I'm like, that's a real place.
Even the set that Merry and Pippin, when they first run into that forest, that's a set.
Yeah.
And that they built, and then,
it looks like a forest.
And it looks like a forest, and then all their interactions with Treebeard, same thing in that area, and Saruman or Gandalf and Aragorn. I like Billy Boyd. It was like how he figured out the way through, and how to get out, and then he's like, they changed it around, they twisted it so they could film it from a different angle, and then he's like, and now I'm lost in this fake forest. Yeah. But yeah, I guess we cut back, and then Merry and Pippin are with Ent Treebeard, who was voiced by John Rhys Davies.
Yes.
Right? Put his voice through a wooden megaphone and lowered it down a few octaves.
It's cool.
Which is, super cool.
And he's taking them to like a Ent meeting to decide what to do with them and whether or not they're going to help in the war.
Yeah. Well, and if they're orcs or not.
And if they're, whether or not they're orcs.
Which eventually they decide they're not
orcs.
Well, they're not orcs, and they're not going to, help. They're like, this is the problem of the world. We're trees. We're going to dig deep and bury.
And Merry is so pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
Merry has a little hissy fit.
Sure.
Yeah.
And he's definitely standing up, showing the courage and what have you. But
then Pippin outwits him.
Outwits them all.
Yeah.
Fool of a toque.
Not anymore. Yeah. Well, no, he fucks up in Return of the King.
Yeah. Gets a little foolish again.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, oh, just turn this way and we'll, skirt around. And then they come out and then they can see the damage.
He says that the closer we are to danger, the further we are from harm.
Yeah. And which again was a great scene earlier when Saruman's like, burn the forest, and they're all ripping the trees down, and you can see the mechanization of Isengard, and then they see all the damage and everything.
Yeah, and Treebeard gets mad and summons all the other Ents.
Yeah.
This all happens towards the end of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I assumed we were going, well, I guess if you wanted to get back to the other crew and their warg attack, not really much going on there aside from the warg attack.
Oh yeah, they get a warg attack, they go to Helm's Deep.
Yeah. Aragorn falls off a cliff.
Aragorn falls off a cliff.
Yeah.
And his pony helps him.
Yeah.
And Arwen's ghost kisses him.
Yeah.
And brings him back to life.
Has a good waking dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because there was that scene in the extended versions where Miranda Otto's got like some stew.
Yeah.
And then she's trying to serve it to people and no one's like down. And
Nobody will eat it.
Yeah, Aragorn like takes some for like gotta be polite, and then he like eats like I don't even know what it is. It's on the spoon, but it's like unknown mass.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh yeah. And then he goes to like pour it out, and she like turns around to talk to him, and he's like, oh. But we find out Aragorn's like 90 years old.
85.
Yeah, I'm just rounding.
No, get it right, Dan.
Sorry, the Lord of the Rings fans will come after me. AKA Devin.
Just me.
Yeah. But I don't know, I thought that was a good scene again because we get some more interaction with him. Because she's supposed to be, of course, falling in love with him more.
Yeah.
And he's still trying to, because Elrond told him, you can't marry my daughter.
Yeah.
But of course he still loves Arwen, right?
Yeah. Okay, so they go to Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
They get to Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
He comes, shows up, whatever. Everyone's happy. Yay!
Yes.
Everything looks bleak and bad. He has a fight with an elf.
Yeah.
He's like, then I'll die with them.
Yeah.
And then they think that the orc army, or the Uruk-hai army, is approaching, and it turns out to be elves because, what's his name?
I don't have it written down, but yeah.
Mr. Smith.
Oh, Elrond.
Elrond.
Sorry, I thought you meant the elf that does come.
He has a telepathic chat with Galadriel and decides that he should help.
You sure? Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's watching again, that's not an element that's in the book, but they felt it was good to show that it wasn't all just like humans still fighting the war.
Yeah. And I like that the elves showed up.
Yeah, me too.
It's great.
Yeah.
Except we do get... It's my favorite movie, but we do have the worst scene of all 4 movies.
Yes, yeah, I believe I know the one you're talking about.
So then the Uruk-hai show up, and they attack.
Yeah.
And things aren't looking good. Because they have the Orc Olympics, where they run the bomb into the hole.
The funniest thing about that scene is they load the bombs into that hole. But they have torches already, and then they need like the fancy torch runner guy to like jump in there. And I was like,
it's the Orc Olympics.
Yeah, I mean it's a great scene, and it's like you can build that dread up that he's coming along, and then they blow Helm's Deep up. But it's just hilarious because it's like you got torches, you could have just thrown those in there and been like boom.
Done.
But they didn't get the honor from Saruman to do it.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the worst scene in all 3 movies. Legolas.
After the orcs manage to mount the wall, or the Uruk-hai, sorry.
Yeah.
They're on the wall. They're fighting.
He slides down a set of stairs on a shield like it's a fucking snowboard.
Shooting arrows.
Shooting
Not
arrows.
just slides down.
It's the stupidest thing.
Yeah.
You know what? I was watching Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Oh.
Which is a far less superior film, even though I love them and I love Mick G.
Yeah.
It's a far less superior movie.
Yeah.
Do you know what the Charlie's Angels do at one point? They slide down a rope on a board, just like that.
Nice.
And it looks less stupid than Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it now when you were saying that. If he slid down the shield in like an escape way,
Yeah.
it could have maybe worked, but not.
Could have just first of all.
No, but not like being on there shooting arrows at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's like, oh, and then he's just like, oh, he kind of slides down with the shield. Cool.
The thing is, it's dumb because first of all, the stairs aren't that high. He probably could have just jumped off of them.
Yeah.
Step one, right? Fault first.
Yeah.
Second, like, it's so dated now.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the problems about it.
Yeah, it's so dated. Like, yes, skateboarding was very cool in the year 2001.
Skateboarding is still very cool.
But it was like a
Yeah.
like you were badass. Like, I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah. Apparently it's in there because he was into snowboarding. Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, well, it's stupid, and somebody should have said no, and that should only be in the extended version if it's in anything.
Sure. Yeah.
I hate it. I hate that one part. That's the only thing I would edit out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the rest of the battle is really intense.
It's
really
so
good.
intense. It's so intense, and it's so, like, just beating you down, basically, right? With dread and, like, tension and everything, and everything keeps going wrong for them.
Yes.
And, like, nothing's going right, and you're like, fuck, there's, like, you know, like, 12-year-old boys and old men fighting, and nothing's working, and they got the elves, oh no, they're not helping either.
The wall got blown up.
The wall got blown up, this is the only, oh shit, what's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, they're beating down the doors.
And, like, Aragorn's doing everything he can, and all of them are doing everything they can, and then you get this stupid fucking scene out of nowhere. I hate it.
That's fair. I like it.
That's what The Hobbit was. The Hobbit was only those scenes.
Yes.
It was like, hey, you know what would be cool? Something dumb.
Well, and then it's really great when the battering ram is bashing on the door, and behind the scenes they talk about it, how like the stunt guys, they were like really trying to bash down the door, but the door they built was too strong. Which I thought was just hilarious.
And then Aragorn and Gimli run up and
do some fighting on the
jump.
bridgeway.
That's such a cool scene when they're fighting off all the guys, and it's just the two of them, and
buying time.
So fucking intense.
Yeah.
And then Legolas is like, watch me do this cool shit on this shield.
You know what I like about this movie particularly, because it's around the same time that the Ents, or Merry and Pippin, are with the Ent, and the Battle of Helm's Deep isn't going so well, and Frodo and Sam, they had to turn from the Black Gates, and they're going through the Dead Marshes.
Oh man, I love the Dead Marshes.
Yeah, I guess we can get to the Dead Marshes in a second here.
Yeah.
But there's a moment in all three of the storylines when there's like the turn.
Yeah.
From, and they play the same music cue where it's like that woman's voice or a child's voice or whatever that goes like the high octaves.
Oh, is it the first one or the second one that has Enya's Let It Be, or May It Be?
Maybe. I think that's the first one.
Yeah, that's the first one. The second one has Bjork's song for Gollum.
Yes, that's right. But there's like that moment when it turns. That's when Pippin convinces Treebeard to turn around. And in this one, it's like when they decide to do like the charge out. Like there's like that turn from like the darkest moment to like something could happen. There's hope. Yeah. It's when they're in Osgiliath. And Sam like convinces them they get out or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So there's like that moment because Sam and Frodo. I guess we should go back to them.
No, let's just talk about Helm's Deep.
Okay. Well, the battering ram.
Frodo do shit. Who cares?
The battering ram it was great. And then they because Gandalf when he left he was like, I'm gonna go find Eomer, and he's like, watch for me on the
third day.
I thought it was the fifth day.
Or whatever day. Look to the east.
Look to the east, and at the dawn or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Aragorn's just like, ride out. Let's go out. And
yeah, because they've basically, they're in the castle now. Theoden's freaking out. He's like, I failed my people. And Aragorn's like, no, there's a second exit. Send the women and children out into the mountains.
Yeah.
You and I will buy them some time. We'll ride out to meet them.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Yeah, because they just come charging out on horses.
On horses.
And just go bananas.
They're like, fuck you, okay?
It's even crazy, like, when you're
on
watching
that little tiny bridge.
Yeah, the little bridge, and they're just like, ah! And it's
So
just
good.
nuts, and then Gimli blows the big horn of the tower, and Gandalf shows up with the reinforcements from the east.
And they just...
They just charge down that mountain. And I always just assumed that, like, yes, the dawn, but, like, Gandalf was using some sort of magic there, right?
Yeah.
Because all the orcs just get, like, blinded immediately.
Yeah. There's some white wizard magic going on.
That's fair. Well, and probably the Uruk-hai don't operate as well, maybe in the
daylight.
day.
Yeah. Which is why they attacked at night.
Yeah. Well, and of course, so that movie, or that scene, sorry, that movie, literally that scene was like 4 months of night shoots in the rain.
Yeah.
And the costumes weren't even drying out in time for the stuntmen to unfortunately put it back on the next day. And it was like, and Vigo and them, like you were saying, like everything was grimed and beaten down on them because it was even just physically beat down on them.
Yeah.
Right? So,
it's so good.
Yeah.
Apparently Arwen was supposed to join them to fight.
Yes. That was workshopped and she actually trained. Yeah. And it was written in the script.
I'm kind of glad that she didn't though.
Well, and that's one of the... Because that leaked online and everyone was like, this is the dumbest idea. And I think... Because then they did that other thing where she communicates with him from beyond and through the the magic of the star, right? So
isn't that the Brett moment too, where she's like going to leave, or is that in the third one? Am I mixing it up?
It's
her father.
It's kind of both. She has like some visions, and then she argues with Elrond in the Two Towers, and I think in Return of the King, she decides to not go.
Yeah.
Because she's like, oh, you saw a child, and etc. Right?
And Brett from.
And Brett.
That's where.
Yeah.
Like my lady.
Yeah.
The world's biggest role.
He got that line out excellently. Yeah.
It's funny that he's also in The Hobbit.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. But I don't know, like I said, I just love that turnaround moment in this one that's in all three storylines.
Yeah.
And at the same time, well, not at the same time, but the Ents attack Isengard.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
It's so awesome to watch because it's just a bunch of sentient trees running around and fucking shit up. And there's that one that's on fire and like there's people just and they burst open the dam and there's more people falling around.
Well, and it makes me laugh because as someone as well as yourself, like you play D&D and Ents are in D&D and you never really kind of think much about a sentient tree really. And this one you're like, oh man.
They're awesome.
They're just picking up orcs and flinging them around and picking up rocks and just
it's so great.
Yeah. And like you say, they just flood the whole valley.
Yeah.
And drowning everything that's down below Isengard. Right. So they're dead down there.
The scene where they start flooding and there's that tree that's on fire and then he just puts his head in the water. So good.
Yeah, because even when they start fighting back with fire, you're like, oh man, they might turn it around.
Yeah.
It's like, again, it's not good, but they're like, nope. And just he's like on fire and just still fighting.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. It's a great scene, and just of course that they built a miniature they can flood, right?
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, while all that's going on, I guess we'll go back to Frodo and Sam.
Frodo and Sam, which are important.
Because we get introduced to Faramir.
Yeah. Got his name here, sorry. David Wenham.
He is in a lot of things as a weenie.
Yeah.
Like he's in that Van Helsing movie with Wolverine.
Yeah.
Wait, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I think it was his role after this.
Yeah, where he plays like a weenie...
Weenie priest.
Weenie monk.
Monk, sorry.
Yeah. But that's such a dumb movie, but I enjoy it.
No, I enjoy it as well. It's too bad it wasn't better.
I enjoy that Kate Blanchett... No, not Kate Blanchett.
Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale. Do you know that she's to be married to Martin Sheen, Aziraphale from Good Omens? They have a kid together.
Right. I think you were telling me that when we were doing our Good Omens episode. Yeah.
Bizarre. But anyways, Kate Beckinsale in that movie is this like warrior lady, and she just wears stiletto thigh-high boots and a corset and like leather tight pants the whole time. I love the costumes from it, but it's so silly.
It's very impractical.
Yeah. For her character, it's the stupidest thing ever, but I like it. It looks cool.
Fair enough.
She looks like a drag queen version of what that character should look like.
Yes. Absolutely, yeah.
Or a burlesque version of what that, not. Anyways.
Frodo and Sam.
They
are dragging along Smeagol. They make a deal with him that they're like, swear on the precious that you'll lead us to
the
gates, and which they do.
They get to the gates. He tries to run in. Smeagol stops him.
Yeah.
He's like, bad call, dude.
There's another way.
They hide under the elven cloak.
That's right, which is a great use, like a great on-screen elven cloak effect. It just looks like a rock, and I was like,
totally looks like a rock.
That's what an elven cloak would do.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they got it right.
Yes. Yeah. Then Smeagol's like, hey, don't worry, I got your back. There's another way.
Yeah.
So they go the other way.
Through the dead marshes.
Which
a parking lot.
Yeah.
But it's it's all these silicone bodies that are sunk in there. The corpses
so
are the dead.
Cool. Yeah.
And I can't remember in the cinematic version or the theatrical cut, like he does fall in.
Yes.
But like, was there a ton of ghost stuff?
I feel like there was a bit of ghost.
But I think there's more in the.
I think you're right.
In the extended version.
We also get some backstory on Smeagol's life as a hobbit.
Well, that's in the third movie. Wait, what?
Oh, no, but Frodo's like, I know you were a hobbit.
Right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you just mean that.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah.
You're Smeagol. Not Gollum.
And he's like, what?
And then you get that amazing scene.
By the waterfall?
With him arguing with himself.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's a waterfall in the background.
I don't know. Maybe.
Or something blue. There's something blue in the background.
Yeah. Well, there's the waterfall in the later scene when he's catching the fish.
I think there's some sort of
probably
blue thing in the background.
Yeah.
That might be water. Anyways.
But yeah, Andy Serkis argues with himself, and it's amazing.
Great. Yeah.
And they fully modeled everything that he did to the CG.
Yeah.
To capture all the facial expressions and tics.
Gollum and Smeagol are having it out.
Yeah. And he tells him, go away and never come back. Which he does. He's Smeagol again.
Yeah.
And then he becomes more helpful. He brings rabbits.
They make a stew.
Yeah. Ruins them. Yeah. But then they get captured by Faramir.
Potatoes.
Yeah. They get captured by Faramir and crew.
Because first they see
they're spies.
They see some bad guys marching and they have elephants.
Yeah.
And they're never going to believe that back in the Shire, Mr. Frodo. But they get kidnapped by Faramir and crew.
Yeah. And then eventually they get dragged to the small cave and then they capture Smeagol as well.
Yeah.
Which was unfortunate for Smeagol because his mind was in a bad place.
Yeah, it's too bad that I was just like, oh man, they're like one explanation away from that not going terrible.
Yeah, well, Frodo lures him in because he's like, don't kill him, he's with me, he's our guide.
Yeah.
Because they were going to kill him.
Because he was in the forbidden
waters.
Yeah. Where it's like punishable by death.
Yeah. But
it's not like they had a fucking sign out though.
Yeah.
Fence or anything. Fucking bastards.
But yeah, so they capture them and then they drag them to Osgiliath, which is still under it.
Which looks so fucking cool because it's all in ruins and so good.
And I like how they added that touch where it's like it's like kind of flooded in places and it's all broken down and the bridges it's all broken and everything. So yeah, the sets of course amazing. Yeah,
top notch.
Very much so. But yeah, dragged there, and I don't know, there's not much to say. They talk with Faramir, and Faramir wants to know how Boromir died.
Yeah.
Sam eventually tells him.
That's all before they go to...
No, well, he tells him...
Oh, yeah, he tells him that.
Yeah, he tells him then, because Faramir, again, was like, oh, no, send him to Gondor, because they know about the ring. He's like, sending my father a great gift, and then he's like, how Boromir died?
Fucking dad's a dick.
Yeah. He's like, Boromir died trying to take the ring. He tried to kill him, and, Faramir realizes that he should let it go.
Yeah, because also Frodo is almost taken over by the ring to go give it to
the Witch King.
The Witch King.
Or a Wraith.
But Sam stops him.
Sam tackles him.
And then he gives him a big long speech about, I don't know, hope or some shit.
Yeah.
And Faramir overhears it. And then that's when he decides that they want to turn him free.
Mm-hmm. Because there's some things worth fighting for, Mr. Frodo. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's alright. I don't care.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. Apparently, again, they built the inside of the Golden Hall in a set, and it was so big that it almost took up the entire warehouse that it was even built in, and they couldn't light it, and so they had to get permission. They got permission from the company who owned the warehouse to knock holes in it so they could light the outside lighting
Nice.
to make it look like day inside there, because they had, they were in Rohan mostly during the day, so they had to carve out concrete holes and I assume repatch them afterwards, of course, as well.
No, they just left him there.
Yeah, just left it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. But and then again, the Osgiliath set was really well done and built.
Oh, totally.
And then the Dead Marshes, like I said, was a parking lot. But it looks, again, every trick where it's like CG with real. And a map. They were saying they did a lot of matte painting work, but they didn't do like classic matte painting where it was like on the frame in a glass. It was like painted, and then they could use it CG to make it again look better and real, right?
Yeah.
Because all of the, except I didn't like, where was the Black Gates? Did they just build that? Or I think if I recall, the Black Gates was like half. It's
half
like
model and half. Yeah.
It was like the half that they're on, of course, is the set because it's all gravelly, but then the other stuff was just model or something like that.
I think so.
Yeah. Can't remember exactly. And then, of course, we mentioned that Isengard, they built a big model for that, which is great.
Yeah. So they let the kids go.
Mm-hmm. And
End of movie.
And it leads right into Return of the King.
Because, we get a stupid, tell me about Frodo and the ring, Dad. Oh, yes, Frodo is very brave. I want to hear about Samwise the Brave.
Hey, that's some great stuff. Because he's right.
I don't have emotions.
He wouldn't get anywhere without Sam. That's his whole, Samwise Gamgee.
I know, I just don't like him.
And then
I think I just don't like characters named Sam, because you know what else I don't like? Sam the book nerd from what was it?
I don't know.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He was annoying too.
Right. No, I was just saying at the end.
Samwises.
There's another good argument of Smeagol and Gollum.
Yeah.
About leading them through to her. Dun dun dun. Because at this point, after Smeagol gets beaten a bunch of times, and
he's mad. He's mad.
Yeah, he's back with Gollum.
So that leads into Return of the Thing.
Yeah.
Of the Black Lagoon.
And then that opens up with Andy Serkis as Smeagol and his brother, Deagle, and they find the ring.
And Smeagol kills Deagle.
Yeah, they fight over it and Smeagol kills him.
Yes.
And then, again, he had to sit for like a ton of makeup for the transition from when he's still a hobbit to a creature.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was like some ridiculous amount of hours.
Of course, they're like, we need this 30 seconds.
Yeah. So in this chair, Andy.
And by 30 seconds, I mean 3 seconds.
Yeah. But yeah, so we get that opening, and then it cuts from there to, I believe it's like they go to Isengard, where they find the Palantir and Saruman, and they try to deal with him. Because
Doesn't he die off screen in the theatrical?
That's correct. We don't see the actual death.
And in the extended, he falls on a stick.
Well, Wormtongue stabs him.
Yeah.
And then he falls onto like a wheel.
Yeah.
Water wheel. Which is a spiky water wheel, though.
As you do.
Well, orcs built it, so.
Yeah, everything's spiky when it comes to orcs.
Basically. So they try to deal with him. Doesn't work. He ends up getting killed. Wormtongue also gets killed. And then Peregrine Took picks up the Palantir, and then he looks and sees the Eye of Sauron. No, he picks it up quickly, but then Gandalf like hides it. Yeah. And he's like, oh, don't look it up.
Picks it up at night when they're sleeping.
Yes, when they're sleeping back at Rohan.
Yeah.
Because they're like just chilling. Basically. But Aragorn is trying to convince him that he's like, oh, we should go help Minas Tirith, if they call, or this and that. And he's like, nah, man.
Yeah, he's like, they didn't help me. Fuck them. That's one of my... well, it's not yet, but one of my favorite scenes.
We can skip ahead. I mean, in the movies.
In all 3 movies is when they're lighting those beacons.
Like the beacons, yeah.
So cool. Just like the first one, and then like showing it all the way. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's just so fucking cool.
Well, and there's even that moment too when he's, the first beacon's lit and they're unsure if it's going to even work, right?
Yeah.
And then like
and then they see
the
the
second
next one.
beacon,
Yeah. And then you get that
"Da-da."
cool shot of like all the beacons, and you're just like, what's that guy's life like? He just lives at the top of a mountain, looks for beacons.
Yeah, he's just chilling up there.
How long has he been there? It seems like they haven't worked together for a long time. How did he see it? It's a good thing he didn't die.
Yeah. You probably have somebody periodically check every month on him or something.
Yeah. Still alive, bro?
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, Peregrine picks up the Palantir. Sauron sees him.
Yeah.
So he thinks that he has the ring. And then so they're like, you gotta get out of here.
Yeah, we'll bring you to
Minas Tirith.
Minas Tirith, and it'll be a good trap that we can lay.
Exactly. Peregrine swears allegiance to the king. Because he's like, oh, Boromir died protecting me. Okay, and so this guy, John Noble, Denethor, plays the... Like, again, I think casting... no one else could have done that, where it was so good that the whole time you're like, this guy, what is your deal, buddy?
You're just like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, basically. Every line of dialogue, everything he does, you're just like, oh.
The scene where he's eating...
I think that's my favorite scene in the entire trilogy.
That's fair.
Yeah.
He's eating, and he's being like a disgusting glutton.
Yeah.
Pippin is singing a sad, sad song, and Faramir is getting like his ass handed to him in battle.
They're reattacking Osgiliath after it got taken by the orcs.
Yeah,
and it's intercut between the three. And I watched that scene from Booth so many times.
Oh,
and
I believe it.
I think it's one of my favorite scenes. It literally makes me tear up every time because I'm like, why?
Why is he such a dick?
Yeah, like. And it's not even just like, it's just even the tactical, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because even Gandalf tries to persuade Faramir not to go. He's like, don't do this is mad. Like, we're gonna need you to defend the city.
Daddy said.
I gotta try.
I gotta do it. My daddy said.
Yeah, that scene, like I said, I think it's one of my favorite scenes in the entire trilogy. It's just
crazy.
so haunting and just like beautiful and disturbing, and it's just like, oh. Yeah. Great stuff.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah. So yeah, the city becomes under siege, and I wanted to.
Oh yeah, we're going there. Gotcha.
Well, I wanted to shout out to. There's this guy. His name's Lawrence Mulcahy. I assume he's a New Zealand guy, and he plays Lurtz Gothmog, which is the pale orc general.
Oh yeah.
And as well, he plays the Witch King when he fights Eowyn.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he plays all three of those guys, and for the Gothmog, they were saying when they were doing the design, they were just like, and then Peter Jackson was like, I want it to kind of be almost like Elephant Man kind of thing, so they made him all weird, and he's just like, oh no, I want like more bulbous and weird, so they put like, they're doing the maquette, like I was saying, he put like clay on it, and Peter came by and he was just like, maybe do a little more, and so the model guy was just like, I put so much that it was too ridiculous to even like consider, and Peter Jackson came by and was like, oh yeah, I like that, and so just do it that way.
Nice.
Yeah, and he was like, so yeah, so he's wearing a ton of prosthetic, of course, to play this general guy. Yeah, I just thought that was a funny thing. And then they get that siege is going on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because at this point the movie kind of focuses really down into that siege. Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli go to the City of the Dead.
That's right.
Mary is with the Rohinium.
Yeah. And the Rohan it's decided to help, so they're on their way.
The beacons were lit.
And Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn are with them, and they pass by and so they go up there.
Yeah, they go to the entrance to the City of the Dead, which is definitely a longer sequence in the extended version compared to the... Because I remember watching that.
Lots more skulls.
Yeah, a lot more skulls. A lot more skulls and a lot... Yeah, there's definitely just a lot longer. And even just like when they take over the pirate ship, that's not even in the theatrical cut.
Oh, isn't it?
No, yeah, because they go in and then you just don't see them again until those ships show up, and then they show up again.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, where it's in, we get the whole City of the Dead sequence and stuff like that in there, which is, it's totally fine. I thought it was funny, they were saying they were designing the CG for the King of the Dead, and they had this idea about like blending the face with like a skeleton, blah, 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 and then someone was like, hey, did you watch the Pirates trailer? And that's exactly like the effect they did. And they're like, oh, man. They're like, we had to come up with something else.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it works because it's super fucking creepy.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's very creepy.
So, what's it called? Necessity is the spice of life.
Mother of invention.
Yeah, there we go.
But I guess, sorry, I skipped ahead from Shelob.
Oh, I don't care about that. I was just
You don't care about the giant spider?
Yeah, it's fine. I was just gonna talk about when like Pippin's fighting and Gandalf is like, "You go now."
Yeah. But then he saves his back a little.
Yeah.
Guardian of the Citadel, indeed.
Then he goes to help make sure that Faramir doesn't get burned alive.
Yes, which again, powerful scene, powerful stuff. Stupid Denethor, you're like, what are you doing, you idiot?
Yeah. Then he climbs up there and you're just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, well, and I think because it's unexplained, there's like the one line in the movie, but it made more sense, is that Minas Tirith has a Palantir. And so he's been looking in the Palantir, and so he's been corrupted and seen the fall of man and all that kind of stuff, right? So he's like, he went the total wrong direction. Right? He's
a bag.
Well, he's not that he's bad, he's just been corrupted by the Palantir like Sauron was, right?
He's a bad guy.
Well, he's just making bad decisions.
Good, the worst.
Well, and even before then, when he's all like yelling to the troops, like, flee and like find your own death, and Gandalf just knocks him with a staff.
So great.
Yeah, it's super great. And then he's just like, prepare the defenses. Yeah. And then in that siege scene as well, you get that scene between him and Pippin where he's talking about the White Shores, which again, great stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, you know what we forgot to mention before the trio goes to the City of the Dead?
What?
Is that Elrond comes to visit Aragorn.
That's true.
Gives him the forged sword.
That's right.
And he's like, be the person you were born to become.
Because Arwen convinces Elrond to forge the sword.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right, because she's going to go to...
The Undying Lands.
Yeah.
To the west.
She's going to go there, but she has a vision on the way.
Yeah.
And Brett is like, my lady. And she sees their child.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways. Okay, so we're back in Minas Tirith.
Sure. No, yeah, that's very much important to point out that he gets the sword of the kings, essentially.
And that's kind of when he accepts that he is the rightful heir.
Yeah, he is the king and has to do this.
Yeah.
Again, that turn.
Yeah.
Become the man as you need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rohan attacks from one side. Eowyn's there in Mandrag.
Mm-hmm.
She's got Mary fighting with her.
Yeah.
Because like the bullies of Rohan were like, you can't fight, you're short.
Yeah.
And she's like, you can ride with me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And he's like, my lady.
Yeah.
So they ride in. They fuck some shit up.
They do.
Theoden gets knocked down by the Lich King.
Well, after they get in there, then there's the elephant charge.
Right.
Which messes them up pretty good, but then they fight back, but it's still like...
But then don't worry, because Legolas shows up to be an idiot again.
Yes.
Slides there
again, only the one time.
Hops up on arrows. Yeah. Anyways, so...
But yes, the Witch King does find him.
Witch King finds him.
Just chaws on him. Like his wraith or whatever, just like... just eats his horse like, immediately. Yeah. With him on it.
And he's not doing so good, but Eowyn comes.
That's right.
And she helps him out.
Mm-hmm.
And
so does Mary.
Yeah, but the Lich King is like... No man can kill me. And she's like, I am no man. And then she stabs him in the face and he dies.
Yeah, well, Mary helps before then as well. And again...
Mary is inconsequential. That is the scene.
Again, with his mace, it was another... Peter Jackson wanted it bigger because they had a mace. Then they made a flail. And then they made one and they were like... He's like, no, I want it bigger. So again, he made one that was like too big. And they brought it, and then he was like, no, I kind of wanted it bigger still.
Nice.
So, yeah, that flail was CG, because how big he wanted it. Like, the handle's real, but the rest of it's CG.
Nice.
Apparently. But yeah, I don't know, Mary, again, though, has his moment of triumph, because, again, the bullies were like, in the field of battle, he'll run away, a coward or whatever, but he stabs the Witch King to help Éowyn win the fight.
But more importantly, Éowyn kills him.
Yes, stabs him in the face.
With fluffer helmet.
Yeah.
I'm no man. Stabby stab.
You get
And then he goes...
cool, implosion effect.
I love that effect. It's so cool.
It's quite cool. I think one of my favorite things in this movie, in that siege scene, is when the siege is essentially won. And they're fighting, and then they see the dead in the background taking down an elephant.
Yeah.
And it just looks like some sort of like plague attacking this elephant, and it even has that sound where it's like, like almost high pitched. So I just, for some reason, always made me like just it stuck out to my face in my eye that it was just like I thought it was hilarious. The army of the dead taking this elephant down. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, that charge of the elephants is super cool and really well executed. Again, something that you hadn't really seen before. And the horses are CG for them, obviously, because you're not going to trample them with an elephant.
No,
but
it still looks good.
It still looks really great. Yeah. To backtrack a little bit, they bring in that battering ram with the big wolf.
Oh, that is cool.
And it's super cool.
Don't they light it on fire or something
too? The face is on fire. Yeah, and they made it out of lead, and then they carved like Morgul runes into it, and when they shot it, it was supposed to hit the door because they built a miniature version of the door because this thing, it was big, but it wasn't like 20 stories tall. Yeah. So it was supposed to like hit the door once and then only like come out a little bit and then hit the door again and then break through. Yeah. And in the first swing, it just smashed the door totally, which is the shot they use in the movie. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Exactly. It still kind of works because it's like it was way more powerful than they were expecting.
Totally.
And again, Minas Tirith, it's a combination. They built a big set in where Helm's Deep was, which was in a quarry. Yeah. And then they also built a giant bigature, they call it, which was 35 meters. That's way too tall.
Feet?
That's good. Maybe it was 7 meters, which is like 35 feet or something like that. It was as tall as like the roof that they were working in or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, because 35 meters. Yeah, that's way too high. Yeah. 30 meters. That's like 100 feet. Maybe. Because they were building a warehouse.
Who knows? Doesn't matter.
It's giant, though,
it's very cool.
And it's amazing. And again, that goes back to what I was saying, like that mixture of all the tricks makes it look authentic. It makes it look real. It makes it like you see that thing and there's no doubt that it's a big city. Yeah. Right?
Okay, so they win.
They win the day.
So then they decide that they can still give Frodo a chance.
That's right.
The most important line of the trilogy. It's not. I just like it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because at this point, Frodo and Sam...
what's going on
There was a separation because Gollum managed to separate the two because he's been, working on Frodo about how Sam wants the ring and etc. Drives them apart. Frodo gets caught in Shelob's lair. And it's a giant spider, and it's creepy, and they built this whole lair with webs and latex, and it's creepy and gross.
Oh yeah, and when Frodo is in her little cocoon and Sam cuts him out, that's so fucking gross looking. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. So Sam drives her away, and thinks
with the light
and the sword. He's got Sting, and he thinks he's dead. And very cleverly done, of course. You hear some orc coming, and then he hides. And then you find out he's not dead. He's just, paralyzed. Yeah. And so Sam has to go rescue him from the orcs.
By pretending to be a very big orc.
Yeah. Which, again, was a circular set of stairs that he was, running up. Yeah. So he frees him.
Gives him the ring back.
Yeah. And it's all about the little things. I love all the scarification on...
carrying it.
Carrying the ring is because it's getting heavier and heavier, and it's destroying him. Again.
And it's been months.
Yeah, and it's like just the little things, right?
Yeah, totally.
And then they're making their way through Mordor. And again, in the extended version, because they dress up like orcs. Yeah. And in the extended version, they join like an orc...
There's more.
More stuff, and then they eventually get away. Yeah. And then, like you said, they want to give them a chance. So Aragorn
storm the gates to take Sauron's.
Yeah. Well, Aragorn uses the Palantir, shows him the sword of Narsil, and then taunts him, basically saying how we have the ring and we're coming for you, kind of a thing, right? So. And then
it draws his attention away from wherever Frodo is.
That's right.
Oh, because they figure out that he's still alive somehow. I can't remember how, though.
Well, they figure that...
Oh, because Faramir tells them.
Right, Faramir tells them, and they also figured that if they were captured, they would, like, it would be over.
Yeah.
Sauron would have already been, like, coming at them and winning the war, essentially. Right?
Yeah.
Because he's an unstoppable evil god.
Yeah.
So they figure, still not dead yet.
Yeah. So they draw away
Sauron's gaze. Yeah.
And Sam and Frodo walk up a hill.
Yeah. Apparently, I was reading just earlier today that was like on the side of some sort of cliff face, and they had to be wired up because it was super steep.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and like so they didn't, if they fell, they would not fall and stuff like that. But they digitally removed the wires and stuff.
And then Sam carries Frodo.
Sam carries Frodo for a bit. No, it's on both.
Oh, okay.
The way up end, because Frodo just keeps collapsing, and he's he's tired. He hasn't slept.
Bitch.
He just got poisoned by a giant spider.
Bitch.
Nice. And then they get to the heart of Mordor, to the fires of Mount Doom.
And Frodo doesn't throw the ring in.
That's right. Well, he succumbs to the corruption.
He fails at the last minute.
Way to go.
But then Gollum jumps on him.
Yeah. And
he bites his finger off, and they fall into the lava together.
Well, and apparently, I'm sure they workshop different versions of that. And, like, there was one version where Frodo just, like, straight up pushes them. And they didn't like that. And then there was another version in the book, Gollum just kind of dances and then accidentally falls.
Yes,
into the lava because he's just too much jubilation.
Yeah.
And I like the version that they did in the movie where it's just they kind of start having a tug of war essentially for the ring.
Yeah.
And then they both kind of fall off. It's not like one pushes the other. They're fighting for it.
They're fighting for it.
And then they tumble down.
And and then Sam saves Frodo.
Yeah. Which again, a powerful line. But probably comedic to some, where he's just like...
What was that?
Where he's like, don't you let go, because, Frodo knows the terror.
He had seen Titanic.
Yes. Anyway, and
4 years before.
Samwise pulls him out.
Yes.
Pulls him from the fires.
Yes, of Mount Doom.
Yeah. And at the same time, the orcs are fighting the men, and, there's some battle there.
And then a bunch of them die, don't they, when the ring gets destroyed? Don't they all fall or something?
Well, yeah, basically, like, the ring finally melts, and then like the earth, like all the orcs just start. Well, some like the troll just like runs away because he's just like, oh, this isn't working anymore. I guess like the control is lost. But yeah, like the ground collapses below.
That's right.
And a ton of Mordor just sinks into the earth.
Yeah, but all the good guys are magically safe.
Yes. Well, assume Gandalf.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll just go with some Gandalf magic.
Gandalf.
Yeah.
And then Sam and Frodo are struggling to get out, and the big birdies help them.
Yeah.
Ka-ka-ka.
I don't think eagles make that sound, but sure.
What sound do they make? Clack.
Yes. Yeah, then,
clack, clack, clack.
And again, I know people were all like, oh, they could have just flown eagles, blah, blah, blah. And I wish they had just included a line in the movie to shut everybody up at, like, the council or whenever, when they're like, the eagles won't help us in this task or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Because they can't fly into freaking Sauron's domain when he's still alive.
Yeah.
He's got ring wraiths,
You know what? There's two ways of handling it. Just ignoring the haters.
Yeah. Or
you can, like, say that wizards used to poop themselves and then magic it away, like J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
People were... she said that, right?
No, I didn't know that. Okay. I don't pay attention to anything this woman does.
That's probably a good call, because people were, like, questioning, since wizards don't use Muggle technology, why they had pipes and bathrooms in place.
Right.
And she said that at some point they installed pipes in bathrooms because it was easier than magicking away your poop when you pooped yourself.
Sure.
Like, they just used to poop their pants and magic it away. So dumb.
Yes, that does sound, like you said, she just should have left it alone.
She should have said nothing.
Yeah.
But whatever. Okay, eagles got them.
Yeah.
They are good.
And then, I don't know, I think this leads up to one of the best scenes of all, and the whole kind of culmination of it all is, we got a couple things, and then the coronation of Aragorn.
It's great.
Yeah, it's so good.
So pretty.
And then when he sees the hobbits, and they all bow to him, and he's like, no, friends, you bow to no one. And it's just like,
And then everybody bows to the four hobbits.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, so good.
So good.
Yeah.
And the White Tree of Gondor's in bloom.
That's right. And then everyone's there. They get together, and etc. So.
Arwen wears a beautiful green dress.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They kiss.
I didn't notice that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a beautiful green dress. It's like a spring green. It's very nice.
Yeah.
She's like hiding behind a banner. And
That's
then he
right.
sees her.
It's all like sneaky.
He's like happy about it. Yeah, because he loves her.
So good.
Yeah. And then we get
the hobbits returning back to the Shire, which I loved.
Yeah.
I loved it as well because when they ride by that crusty hobbit, but you just see that shot of them, and they're all wearing like finery, like Pippin's wearing Gondorian finery.
Yeah.
Mary's got Rohini and stuff, and then Sam and Frodo just have like elvish stuff, but they just they're all wearing like something representative of their journey.
Yeah. Right. And he gives them the stink eye.
Yeah, it gives them all the stink eye. And because they didn't do the whole Shire being attacked thing, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, it just was left untouched.
Yeah, it's left untouched, and everyone in that area, like, they don't realize the journey they went through, and etc.
I kind of like that too. Like, you're heroes, but not to us.
Yeah, that's right, and they're all just in that tavern and
and then
having a beer.
Sam finally asks out Rosie.
That's right. They get married.
They get married, and then Bilbo's gonna go to the Undying Lands, and in a tricksy move, Frodo goes with them.
Yeah. So tricksy.
Because I guess he couldn't live with himself anymore.
Probably a little bit of that, and didn't realize he had no place anymore. Right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and then when Sam gets back, that's the final line of the book too. Is I'm back. Right. So. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
Great movies.
Yeah. I even like the small touch that they're having him write in the book.
Yeah.
And like. Just stuff like that, right? Again, it's all the small things that build you in and draw you in so much.
I love the way Hobbiton looks.
It's amazing.
I would live there in a second.
Yeah.
I would love to live in a Hobbit house. That's like, don't give me a mansion. Give me a little Hobbit house.
Yeah.
I'd be so happy.
Yeah, some people have built some.
I know. You can get like eco homes that you build yourself, that you like build half underground, and they're basically like little Hobbit homes.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Sign me up.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just trying to think of...
You hate the movie and you don't think anyone should watch it.
No, God no. I was just trying to think of more stuff about that end. But I don't know, there's not really much else about the end really to say. Like, yeah. It's pretty much almost like as they kind of thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, the shore where the boat is, again, they built a set for that. And, again, amazing. So...
I don't know. It's a really good trilogy, and everyone should watch it and love it.
Yeah, well, and I'm trying
and they hate people that are like, it's just a bunch of people walking. I'm like, no, it's such a fucking good movie.
And who cares? If it's a bunch of people walking.
Yeah, if it's good, then it's good.
Yeah, like, that's... I've watched movies where people do less, and they're good. Like,
that's fair, yeah.
But, no, I was going to say, curious about when they filmed when Frodo leaves. Because obviously, like, they all break down... And it's all emotional, it's all well acted, and it's just like, how much, how late in production was that scene? Because the bond that they show is 100% genuine, right?
I would assume they filmed that towards the end, if they had noticed that they had a bond going.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I know, like, the scene, like we just spoke of, where Andy Serkis and Elijah Wood wrestle over the ring, that was the last day that Andy Serkis shot on set. Right. That was the last thing that they shot, so.
Oh, just on a side note. If you want to watch something delightful, you need to watch the extras where Andy Serkis is in his morph suit. Just fucking around on set, like smashing around in the creek and stuff. Yeah. With Frodo and Sam there.
Yeah, because it's all, there's definitely a lot of it in there.
So good.
Yeah. Well, and I thought that was interesting because they weren't going to use him... or they were going to use him, but then, like, CG him out, or then they did, like, things called, like, mime passes, where they just pretended to have, like, a character and stuff like that, and they were like, all the best stuff always came from when they had Andy there. Yeah. And so they were just like, yep, you're using him, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like, there's a scene where he catches a fish in the creek, and apparently...
That was all, mocapped on a...
Yeah, and it was, like, 0 degrees, and he just kept doing it all over.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about that one, where he was...
in the creek. Flailing around.
Yeah. No, because they did that scene when he catches the fish and he's singing.
Oh, yeah.
That one was like mocapped on a stage and he's just like having a good time.
Better than actually being in a stream.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there is tons of stuff. My brain is full of Lord of the Rings trivia that I could just probably spew for a while, but again, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I was saying in the beginning, compared to The Hobbit, and I know it was Peter Jackson and co who did it again, but I feel like that they just had more outside voices compared to this.
I know you've seen it, but if other people go watch that Lindsay Ellis piece,
that's right.
It's quite
apparent.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's just like the care and the detail that these people put into it, and it's just like amazing.
It's like we were talking about a bit in the Han Solo episode, where we're like, this is definitely not a labor of love.
Right.
Where it's like, this is a money grab, but it's soulless. Lord of the Rings is the opposite of that. It was definitely a labor of love. It was a passion project, kind of like Dark Crystal was, right?
Yeah.
Like, you watch Dark Crystal and it's not good, but you can tell that it was like...
the effort was there.
Somebody's passion was to make this the way they visualized it.
Yeah.
And Lord of the Rings was the same thing, but it turned out good.
turned out amazing, there's no doubt.
Yeah. I love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I have a White Tree of Gondor tattooed on my leg.
Yeah, that's right, you do. And actually, I was going to say, speaking of the ring, because a lot of the actors, of course, got something from the shoot and stuff like that.
The 9, I'll have the Elvish symbol for 9.
Yeah, no, I mean like some kind of prop. And Peter Jackson gave both Andy Serkis and Elijah Wood a One Ring replica.
Oh, cool.
And they both thought they only had the only one.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of so true to like their characters almost. My precious. Yeah.
The Fellowship got...
Yes, they all got the tattoos. Yeah. Aside from John Rhys Davies, apparently. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
His stuntman got it.
Oh, nice.
With him. And Peter Jackson got 10, which I didn't know that.
Cute. Yeah.
So, brought them all together, as it were. Yeah, I don't know. Anything more you want to say? I mean, I guess, was there any cast member we didn't really highlight here?
Miranda Otto is so great.
Yeah, we talked about Miranda Otto. Hugo Weaving, of course, is Elrond. She's
so good in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina as Aunt Zelda.
Right, you were saying that.
I love her so much. She's still a babe.
Yeah, I think we pretty much talked about everybody. But yeah, just to get their names. Oh, sorry?
Liv Tyler is Arwen.
Liv Tyler is Arwen, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, Liv Tyler is Arwen. Of course, Elijah Wood as Frodo, Sean Astin as Sam, Billy Boyd as Pippin, Dominic Monaghan as Merry, Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn, Orlando Bloom, Legolas, John Rhys Davies, Gimli, Sean Bean, Boromir, and Ian McKellen as Gandalf made up the 9.
Yes. So good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean...
I just go watch it if you haven't. Why haven't you watched it
if you haven't seen it?
Why not?
But just to hear some extra thoughts on or a little more of a breakdown, some of our behind the scenes knowledge is what we're trying to bring.
Yes.
Because these movies are quite old, but they're quite excellent, and there's a lot to them that maybe some people, not like us, who delve into the movies a little more, might not know or might not realize. I again, love the bigatures. Sorry.
When I watched Fellowship, I wanted to move to New Zealand to try to be in Return of the King. That was my thought process. Yeah. I know, right? But I was also 16.
Right. Nice.
I was like, I'm going to marry one of the hobbits.
And I'm in.
I want to be in this movie.
And that's what's interesting, of course, living in Vancouver, a lot of film production stuff is shot here because, like New Zealand, we have access to like every topography in a not too far away kind of way. So it's like, it just kind of, I thought that was great. And it was pretty cool. Again, in the behind the scenes stuff, some of where they found the settings and how they altered the forests and stuff that. Right? So
I would you can go visit Middle Earth.
Yeah.
I would love to do that one day. Let's go.
I would like to.
Hey, guys, PayPal us money so we can go to
our non-existent Patreon. That'll be our first goal.
Yeah. We're going to fucking New Zealand to go to Hobbiton.
Nice. No, but I was just going to say, again, the bigature stuff was pretty cool. The behind-the-scenes stuff to look on that is amazing because they built miniatures.
Oh, and the costumes were fucking
of course, yes.
Insane.
Yeah, but the miniature stuff, I think, is an extra whole level because, like I said, they built it so big. Normally, they're small, and they built them giant sized, and so you can get all sorts of good camera angles on them, and they blew some up and, you know, flooded others, and I think that kind of crafts work is incredible in Hollywood, because that used to be the technique, and it's not so much anymore.
Yeah,
but
it's more digital now.
Yeah. But
I feel like because it's not so reliant on the digital, it's aged a bit better, because even though the technology is better now, like Avatar is gonna look shitty, right? If you rewatch it.
Sure.
Like The Hobbit already looks shitty.
Yeah.
But
Well, and that's what I was saying earlier. Like, there's some wonky CG in the first one, especially, I think.
Yeah.
But it gets better.
Peter Jackson, I've noticed, likes to do that weird slowed down camera. Not slow-mo, but it kind of like it's slower, but and the images kind of ghost and track a bit. And I just really hate it. I just don't like that effect at all. And he seems to love it because it's in all his movies.
Nice. No, I was going to say, because I was reading, I think the first movie had like 900 and something digital effects. Or maybe less than that. Maybe it was like 600, and then the second one had like 900, and then the last one had almost 1,500.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like... And then they had a CG character, right? So,
yeah.
They definitely stepped up the CG game as it went, right? But in a good way.
Helm's Deep is still the best.
I think the Helm's Deep battle is really amazing, for sure. And again, because of the practicality of so much of it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because even like the scene, like when they're in Minas Tirith and then the trebuchet launches that big giant rock and it falls and lands, it's cool, but it's like, you know, it's landing in a bunch of CG orcs, right? You're kind of like, eh.
It's just not the same as Helm's Deep. Helm's Deep is dark and claustrophobic and sad. I like that.
That's fair.
I think we should probably wrap up.
Should wrap it up,
because I think we're getting close to 2 hours.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, people. Amazing.
Really good. Go watch it.
Yeah.
If you want to find us, tomeofuselessness.com. We're on all social media, as in Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tome of Uselessness. You can also email us, tomeofuselessness@gmail.com.
Yeah. Questions, comments, topic suggestions, let us know.
Yeah, we may or may not do them.
That's correct.
And thank you for listening.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
My precious.